Welcome back to Raccoon Shitty, where we've played a long game, you and me, but now it's over. I'm Frank, back again with my co-host Thomas, and today is a sad day as we're discussing the final Paul W.S. Anderson film in the series, Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. Today, we're also joined by a special guest, a local filmmaker and horror movie fanatic, our friend Ken. Hello, Ken.
Hey, everybody. Happy to be here.
So before we get into the actual movie, I always like to ask the guest two questions. The first of which is, what is your experience with Resident Evil?
So my experience with Resident Evil kind of started back when I was a kid. My aunt, she had a PlayStation, and I remember when I was going through a lot of her games, basically, I just like flipping from because I was a big gamer at the time, and one of the games that like she had was Resident Evil 2, basically. I think just like that cover kind of like creeped me out a little bit, so I just went like fast forwarded to a bit, and then later on, as I got older and stuff like that, my dad's local barbershop, they would watch movies, and one of the movies they played was Resident Evil, like the first one. So yeah, that's been my experience with the Resident Evil movies, and then with the video games as I got older, I played them, and yeah, big fan.
You play all of them?
I have not played all of them.
Or all the main ones, I guess. I guess playing all of them would be a very big task. There's like 25.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it does feel like a barbershop movie. We were talking in one of the last episodes we did about how it kind of felt like a movie that would play while you're at the dentist or something.
That's wild. Yeah, but I can most definitely see that. It seems like one of those movies that like you would see maybe like you're at like a sports bar or something like that, and then one of the random screens just has the FX channel on, and then oh yeah, Mila Jovovich is on this movie, and everyone else is just more focused on the game.
Yeah, exactly. Just one of the other TVs in the bar. Yeah. Could you name the movies in order? This is another fun game we like to do with our guests. We've only had one person succeed so far.
All right, I think I got it. I think first one is obviously Resident Evil. Mm-hmm. Second one is Resident Evil Apocalypse. Third one is Resident Evil Extinction. I think the fourth one is called Resident Evil Retribution. Fifth one is, I think, Resident Evil Afterlife, and then the last one is Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. I'm not sure if I'm right, but
you were close. So 4 is Afterlife and 5 is Retribution, but
okay.
Yeah, I mean, we always ask the guests to do this, and I think it's, well, one, because it's funny, but two, it's just like to prove a point. Like, this is a really confusingly titled franchise.
Yeah,
all the subtitles are just very generic, you know. The one called Apocalypse is just set in Raccoon City, and then the one where there's a worldwide apocalypse is called Extinction.
If you ask me, though, I still feel like Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 are like prime cinema movies. Like, they are so out there, and I love them.
Yeah, I really like 2. I genuinely think 2 is a fun movie. I wasn't so hot on 3. I wish I was, but I think part of it is like I wasn't expecting it to be like a Mad Max-like film. And then also I feel like just there's a lot of time where nothing happens. But you know what? That's kind of how I felt watching today's movie. And today's movie was a lot worse. So I think Extinction has gotten a bump after the fact for me.
There you go. We love a nice redemption story.
It's like he heard us say that we didn't like 3 and then was like, okay, we're going to make this perfectly so they don't like it.
All right, let's get into the history of the project and details of release.
After the box office success of Retribution in 2012, the head of distribution for Sony Pictures, Rory Brewer, confirmed that a 6th film in the franchise was in development. In an October 2012 interview with Forbes magazine, producer Samuel Hadida said that in addition to a 6th film, a 7th film was also being planned, and that a reboot of the entire franchise was being considered. I think it'd be really funny if this was called The Final Chapter and then they made a 7th film.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the first time that's happened with a horror franchise.
Resident Evil New Game Plus.
Yeah, that would be a fun idea for a movie, just a video game adaptation where it's like Alice goes back to the first movie with all the knowledge and powers and shit. Well, I guess she doesn't have them in this movie, but we'll get into that later.
Resident Evil, we lied about the last one.
What franchise is it that has Final Chapter?
Final Destination?
Well, okay, that's kind of every movie. That's
yeah.
Oh, no, it's Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah.
I think it's part
4, yeah.
4 is the final chapter.
The final Friday or something like that.
And there's also, I think there's another one too. Maybe I'm crazy. I just looked it up. There are 12 of them, which is very funny because the first one that has final in the title is, you're right, part 4, the final chapter. And then, like you were saying, Ken, the final Friday. And that's movie number 9 of 12.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's just something that happens in horror movies. Didn't they do that with Nightmare on Elm Street too? Not 2 as in the number, but like as well. Wasn't the 6th one called like, I don't know.
I think so. It was like Freddy's Dead. I think that was one of them.
And then the next one was Freddy's Back.
Yeah, yep. So they did Freddy's Dead, and then they did Wes Craven's A New Nightmare afterwards.
That's a good, I like that one a lot. 6 is terrible. Freddy's Dead is terrible.
I still need to watch those last 2. I got them on Blu-ray, but then I saw online that the 4K collections is on sale for $50. I was like, you're gonna save money or buy that. So we'll see how that story ends.
Well, you could put the Blu-ray sale towards the 4K.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Samuel Hadidah's specific words were, "It will go another one, another 2, and then I'm sure it will be rebooted. Spider-Man did. Why not Resident Evil? You can come back to the original idea, the start of everything. You can take out characters, you can evolve, you can live with this world very easily. You know, characters were dead and they are still here." Hadidah was also one of the producers behind the live-action Silent Hill movies as well, and he passed in 2018, but his brother Victor acted as a producer on this year's Silent Hill flick, too.
Well, I think Spider-Man's situation was a little bit different.
They're alike. What do you mean? Spider-Man and Resident Evil.
I do think it's funny how he's like, yeah, you could take out the characters, they can be dead, and then they're suddenly here. Because that is true. This franchise does that a lot. Just unceremoniously, characters will disappear and then show up like 2 movies later with no explanation.
Exactly. Shout out to Claire Redfield.
Yes, the only returning cast member other than the villain, who is also somebody who died and then is just suddenly back.
Mm-hmm.
I think almost everyone in these movies died and then came back. At least the villains.
It's so funny to me. Like last movie, we get Barry and Leon, and I think Ada died. Maybe she didn't. I don't remember anymore. But it's like they just all unceremoniously died off screen. Chris is never mentioned again ever since movie 4.
You're forgetting the child that they picked up last movie, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, even they forget. I mean, they had the child at the end of Apocalypse who's just gone in extinction. They have so little respect for us as audience members.
They're like, yo, you guys are here for Mila Jovovich. Like, some of you guys might have stayed for Mike Epps, but you guys are all here for Mila Jovovich. And then they took out Mike Epps, R.I.P.
Yeah.
I'm actually here for all the evil residents.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of them. So Anderson confirmed in December that he would be returning to direct, while also confirming that this entry would serve as the finale to his version of the franchise. In an interview with MovieWeb.com, he would elaborate, saying, quote, "I can't tell you if it's the loss of the entire world. In terms of returning characters and themes, I do see this movie coming full circle and circling back to the original characters and themes that were featured in the very first film. That's why you saw the return of the Red Queen and Michelle Rodriguez's character. It is preparing you for a return to the hive and a return to the scene of the first film." I guess.
What a lie.
I mean, he's talking about the last movie, Retribution, like setting the pieces for this, but also it's like the main antagonist of this film is not in Retribution at all, right? Dr. Isaacs, he never shows up in that movie. He's revealed here.
He was last in 3.
Yeah, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Just complete nonsense. And then Retribution, I don't know.
Yeah, I think for the most one, it's just been Wesker, I think has been kind of been the guy.
Yeah, for the last 2.5 movies at least.
Mm-hmm.
I forget when Wesker first appears. Is it in Extinction?
I think it's Extinction or maybe 4.
He's in
It's 3 because he's the hologram.
Yeah, he's like a cliffhanger in Extinction. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then 4 starts with the Tokyo thing.
Which also is kind of funny because in that one, he sounded like he was the boss of Dr. Isaacs. And in this one, Dr. Isaacs is his boss.
Well, I have less than a page of notes for this one.
Uh-oh.
And most of them are just me going, what is this retcon? So we'll get into that later. We were saying it last week, but it's like this franchise has not earned the right to be self-reverential. You know, it's giving itself a pat on the back and giving itself these callbacks. And it's like, hey, remember when this all started? And it's like, okay, the franchise is 10 years old. I guess now it's 12 years old because the last one came out in 2012. And that's when they started doing all the callback stuff. But it's like, these movies are not good enough to have earned the right to do that. You can't give yourself a pat on the back for these.
But if I had to be nice, these movies, these movies are, I would say, are made for, Xbox and like a Mountain Dew like middle school kids. It's like these are the movies that are like just intense enough for helicopter parents basically to be comfortable with their kids watching violence on movies, and also still cool enough for them to feel like they're actually like seeing something. So that's just kind of like my view on these movies, because like Final Chapter is essentially a QuickTime event movie. It literally is.
Oh God, yeah. So was Retribution.
Yeah, I remember because I was watching this movie with my girlfriend last night, and she was like, "Is there like a rule, basically, just like in this movie, where like Mila Jovovich's tits just have to be all out all the time or whatever?" I'm just like, "Yeah, I don't know." But yeah, this movie is made for middle school boys.
You know what? I think I agree with that. I never thought about it that way before, but it is like tame enough, both like in its violence and its sexuality, that it could just be like, yeah, my kid could watch this and he'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like the gore is never that bad, like ever.
Yeah.
No, I don't think anybody ever gets like ripped in half or anything like that. Or, you know, I know Barry gets his face disfigured and some people get their heads bitten off or something, but I don't know. It's kind of played more cartoonishly. And then they're weirdly not sexual for as naked as she ends up being in a lot of these movies. They're very, very not sexual. There's no sex, there's no romance or chemistry. I know Carlos kisses her in Extinction.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah, we talked about that in our Extinction episode. It was very weird, like just completely out of place.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's very very tame.
Yeah, because I feel like for most of the like mutilation, because I think Alice loses like 3 fingers and stuff like that, and then damn, I'm blanking on his name though. All I know is that like he.
Oh, don't worry about it. I don't know any of these characters' names except Alice and Claire and Isaac's.
Yeah, like all I know is just like the actor. The actor is essentially like Daenerys Targaryen's ride or die homeboy.
Yes. You're the first person we've had on the show who knows what I'm talking about. Yes, when we saw him at the end, or in Apocalypse, I'm like, has anybody else seen Game of Thrones? Nobody. Crazy.
And it's like so funny though seeing him in this role too, because I'm so used to him playing everything like so straight. I've never seen this man like act manic basically in anything. So seeing him act manic in this movie was like, it was weird for the most part. I was like, yo man, this isn't you, but I don't know. I guess I just want to see him do more manic stuff, but it was interesting.
Yeah, I think he's good in these movies. Like I love how hammy his performance is. He's fun.
Yeah, he's very fun.
He's a good actor. I don't feel like you see him in a lot of stuff. I mean, I guess being busy with Game of Thrones makes it hard to be in movies and stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%.
No, it's good. And it's funny too, because this one I think might be the first one. I guess maybe Retribution, but he wasn't in that one. That's releasing alongside Game of Thrones, because this was 2016, so this would be like season 6 or 7 or something.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Which is like the peak of his character arc with the dragon scales.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked he came back for this after being on Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's got to be a pretty good paycheck, but I guess he just, I don't know, either they paid him well here or he just thought it was a fun job.
Yeah, I think that money probably might have been just right for him.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
So shooting was set to start in late April 2013 after Anderson would finish his work on his film, Pompeii. Never seen it.
Me either.
Pompeii sounds like a Michael Bay movie.
There were a lot of movies around that time where it's like they had Troy and didn't they do a remake of Jason and the Argonauts or something? I don't know. There were a lot of like weird, like Mediterranean historical epics and fantasy films.
Yeah, because I know there was Gods of Egypt around that time.
Yes, that was one.
And then there was also like Ridley Scott's version of the Moses movie, Exodus or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, and what's his name? Aronofsky did the Noah's Ark thing with Russell Crowe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you're right. Pompeii sounds like first of all, it sounds like a fake movie. But I don't know. I guess it is kind of just like the premise would sort of be like Titanic or something, right? It's like we know that there's going to be a disaster, that the characters don't know it.
Exactly.
I've never seen it. But it's nice to see that Anderson does other things. The only movie I've seen of his that isn't one of these pieces of shit is Mortal Kombat, and I thought that was a very enjoyable movie. So
yeah, exactly.
Maybe he's just not cut out for this franchise.
I know, like after this franchise, he did the Monster Hunter movie, also starring Mila Jovovich as well.
Yes, we've briefly talked about that before. Never watched it. I don't know if I've got any interest in watching it. But It is funny that Capcom, after all this, was like, yeah, we'll give you another one.
Mila Jovovich is not in Pompeii. I just looked. Shocking.
Well, she probably would have been busy with Retribution. Well, wait, no, because he directed that too. I don't know. What was she doing?
Oh, wait, you know what? I will give Paul W.S. Anderson, like, some props because he has made some of my favorite, like, guilty pleasure movies. So he made the first Alien Predator movie. He made Mortal Kombat. And then, like, the movie that, like, he hit gold with surprisingly had to be, like, Event Horizon.
I still haven't seen that one, but I've always wanted to watch it.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
I know Thomas has seen Alien versus Predator and he enjoys it. So
Yeah.
we know that he can make good movies, or at least fun movies, I guess is the way of putting it. But these are just not that.
I think his most recent one was a movie with Dave Bautista that came out last year.
Oh, yeah. That had Mila Jovovich in it, though.
Yeah, it did.
Wait, what? What movie is this?
It's called In the Lost Lands.
Do you remember the poster? It's him, like, on a pile of skulls. It's a shitty poster.
Oh, okay. I think we might have looked at the poster in one of our previous episodes, but it just sounds so generic. I completely forgot.
From looking at the poster, whatever, it kind of looks like one of those fake movie posters that like you would see in a Nickelodeon TV show that like, the characters are like are gushing about. Yo, man, we gotta go and see In the Lost Lands.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the poster now. Yeah. I remember this thing. I mean, I didn't remember it as a real movie, but I do remember, I think we talked about it for a second. That's funny. However, things would move along much slower than they had expected. Instead of starting in late 2013, it was revealed in a Collider interview in June 2014 that the film's title, Resident Evil: The Final Chapter, would be set in stone and that the script was only half finished. So they were supposed to start shooting in late 2013, and Anderson is like, no, I have the title and half of a script. And it is currently 6 months later.
And that's how the final movie was made, with half a script. They improv'd it.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it. He would also confirm that the final chapter was also to be shot in 3D, like Afterlife and Retribution, saying, quote, I firmly believe that you have to start thinking about the 3D even in the writing process. It's not some special sauce that you can sprinkle on. You make the dish and then you make hot sauce on top. It doesn't work well like that. He's got such a way with words. Quote, yes, you can do a last minute conversion. You can not shoot the movie thinking about 3D and do a last minute conversion, and it can be a 3D movie. It's just not going to be a great 3D movie. I approach my films right from the inception. I kind of write action scenes and pick out locations that I think and know, because I've done so much of it, will translate very well into 3D. Then when we build the sets, we build sets that I know will shoot well in 3D. It's really, even from this point, 3D is something I'm definitely thinking about. We've talked about it before, but he comes from like the Dwayne Johnson school of interviews where like he just speaks sort of incoherently sometimes. Like he gets distracted mid-sentence and then just doesn't finish. If you want to know what we're talking about, go check out the Black Adam episode from our last season.
Oh, okay. I gotta check that out for sure.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, when he was talking about like 3D and stuff like that, I was kind of thinking like, yeah, like this movie is kind of like the last of the dying breed of the 3D craze or whatever, because I remember after post Avatar, there was like so many movies that were like advertising sort of like the 3D aspect and stuff like that. And so with this movie coming out in 2017, basically, that's kind of like when all the 3D gimmick stuff kind of just ended right there. So yeah, I salute Paul Thomas Anderson for carrying it as long as he did.
Oh, hold on a second. Not Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. Paul W.S. Anderson. Like, could you imagine if this movie was directed by Paul Thomas Anderson?
I've been waiting for somebody to make that slip up the entire show. Oh God, yeah. Yes.
I'm surprised it wasn't me.
Yeah, I know. Or me. I mean, we both flub a lot. I mean, yeah, there's Wes Anderson, Paul Thomas Anderson, and then Paul W.S. Anderson.
They should combine into one person.
I'd like to see what that movie looks like.
Yeah, do you think that like they're in a group chat together, like, yo, guys, like
meet the Andersons,
like the Pauls?
Yeah. No, I agree. That's a very interesting take. Yeah, like it is kind of the last of a dying breed, and in a lot of senses too. We've talked about on the show before how it's like this is a series that started in 2002, and the way that it behaves still feels very like late 90s, early 2000s in the way that it's like edited and the action and the music. And the way that it treats sequels too, because we're in a post MCU world now, like the way that franchises are started and they're like carefully planned out and stuff like that doesn't gel with the way that these movies are just kind of going from one to the next, making it up as they go along.
Exactly. It's very much like, oh yeah, like we'll go and give you like a brief rundown of what happened though, but none of that shit really matters basically.
Yeah. And that happens every movie. Every movie starts with an Alice, well, other than the first one, starts with a voiceover where she's like, "My name is Alice," and then here's the last movie, along with whatever retcons we've decided to go with. I agree. It's a shame too, because I really like 3D movies, and I know they still occasionally have them, but it feels like even the big studios don't really go for it most of the time. Like you don't see a lot of 3D blockbusters anymore.
I know. I think like the only one that's like trying to like make it a thing is just like it's Cameron basically with his Avatar movies.
I think even the Billie Eilish concerts in 3D, the concert movie he just did.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I'm just waiting for Cameron just to go and implement Smell-O-Vision again. Like, yo, we're bringing back Smell-O-Vision for Avatar 4.
I think we talked about that on the show too. I don't remember which one it was. I think it might have been Afterlife when he first started talking about the 3D stuff. But it's like, yeah, can you imagine the Smell-O-Vision for this thing? Like just a scratch and sniff and it's rotting flesh or sweat and dirt. Like, I don't know. It'd be the most miserable Smell-O-Vision in the world.
Yeah, you know, I could actually, like, if he had time to do it, I would probably think that Zach Krieger would most definitely do a Smell-O-Vision of his Resident Evil. Like, oh my God.
I'd like to get a whiff of that guy in the sewers.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure he smells great.
They just get a corpse and they just leave it behind the screen of the movie theater and let it rot.
So, you know, depending on when you go to see the movie, it's going to be a different smell.
Like it keeps on bringing you back. Like,
I want to see how it smells now.
Yeah.
I want to see what the body smells like now. Yeah.
Exactly.
How decomposed it is.
They advertise on the posters like fresh corpse.
Yeah.
Shooting would commence on September 18th, 2015. Wow, so a whole year after that interview.
Yeah, which is like 18 months after when they said they were going to start shooting.
And principal photography would take place in Cape Town, South Africa, and across Australia. And despite what Anderson had said before, the film would indeed be shot in 2D with a post... would be shot in 2D with a 3D post conversion.
All that talk about how, hey, you got to plan it from the start in 3D and a conversion's not the same. And here it is.
Compromises had to be made.
Anderson would once again talk to Collider in late 2016, defending the change by saying, quote, "So visually, it's very, very different. And while it is 3D, this is the first time that I have done a 3D conversion. All the movies I've done so far. You know, I'm a very early adopter. I love technology. We literally took the cameras off the Avatar set, so Resident Evil Afterlife was the first native 3D movie to be released after Avatar, and I've always shot native because I've never felt the technology for conversion was good enough that I wanted to do a conversion. I feel that finally it's gotten to the point that I could. But what I did was I used my 3D crew to shoot it. So while they were shooting 2D, it was being framed with the knowledge of what makes a good 3D shot, so it could be spectacular 3D with the advantage that I'm sure you've been on 3D sets where they use 3D cameras. They're huge because it's 2 cameras and an onboard computer, and you have to put it on a crane most of the time. This one I wanted to kind of like, and it's very restrictive to work like that. What is he talking about?
I think I understand what he's saying. He's like, well, it doesn't have to... I mean, he's kind of bullshitting, right?
So it kind of sounds like, to me, like he's saying that, like, yo, so like we wanted to go and do a 3D and stuff like that, but like it didn't happen though, but we're still gonna try to make it happen. Like happen though, so I didn't do anything wrong, basically. So yeah, 3D's there, but it's just not the 3D that like that like we wanted it to be.
It sounds like 3 different interviews and they took 3 different sentences and put them together. Does he like record this interview while he's driving on the freeway?
It's a 3D interview.
Yeah.
It's 3D interview. Oh.
Yeah.
And no offense to Anderson's, I don't know, artistic sensibilities or body of work, but I don't think most audiences are going to notice that this one was a conversion versus the other 2 being shot natively in 3D. These are not good looking movies. I mean, sometimes they are. Sometimes they do have like high production value and like they have like crisp images, but they also have a lot of like bad green screen. Like I'm thinking particularly Afterlife when they're on like the rooftop of the building and it kind of looks like The Room.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So it's like, I don't think it's going to be that big of a thing that like audiences aren't going to be getting pitchforks and torches. You know what I mean?
Speak for yourself.
You know what it is though? I think like when I think about like these movies, I think I'm gonna tie it in off the video games since it's so fitting. Like the first 3 movies and stuff like that, they kind of like, even though like there was like a bluish tint to them, they were still somewhat colorful. And I kind of like equate that to like the video games at the time or whatever, since 2002, 2004, then like 2007 or whatever. Like you had like your Super Mario Super Soakers and blah blah and everything. And so there was a bit more of a color pop basically basically to these movies, similar off the video games at the time. But then after like number 3 or whatever, you kind of get to this super grayish and like brownish, yellowish color tint, basically that all media was kind of going for at the time.
Yeah, the piss filter.
Yeah, because it was like, because I was looking at this one, I was like, man, this looks like just straight up, just all grays and like super faded yellows and browns and stuff like that. So very, very just like early 2010s shooter game vibe.
Yeah, even Resident Evil 5. We talked about that in, I forget which episode. Was it Afterlife? But they were doing the piss filter thing too.
Yeah, I like that one. The piss filter.
That's always what I've heard it be referred to as. I think you're giving Extinction a little too much credit because I think it's also very yellow.
Yeah, very much. I think that was the start.
I will say it does have more color and better cinematography than Afterlife. Afterlife definitely looks very gray. Like not a lot of colors, just contrasting gray and black and white, and I don't know, not a lot of popping colors. Maybe like fire in a barrel. Like I can't think of much else in Afterlife that was like that.
Because I'm not sure like if that was also the time too, if they were like switching heavily into digital and stuff like that, because I think like the first 2 had to be shot on film because like that's how they feel.
I don't know if we got into that in our research. I'm trying to think. I know Afterlife we definitely know was shot on film, or I mean digital, because he used, like he said here, it's true. He did use the Avatar camera system because apparently he's friends with Mr. James Cameron, and he watched a huge chunk of Avatar before it came out and was on the set of Avatar. And
well, he says he loves technology and he's a very early adopter. So the first one might be digital.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, they could all be digital. I'm thinking they might all be digital. That's a great point. Maybe the first one's not, but like by 2004, Attack of the Clones has already been out. I don't know. I think by 2004, digital might be good enough.
Digital is creeping in there for sure.
I mean, like people like George Lucas and like David Lynch and Fincher, like there were a lot of big name directors using digital at the time. So I think Anderson, especially if he's one of these techno fetishist guys, he's definitely going to be pushing for digital.
Yeah,
but I do think Apocalypse looks good. It is very blue, very like Terminator-y in that sense, but it is a good looking movie, I think. But not directed by Anderson though.
Coming soon to theaters, Cyberpunk 2077, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson.
Starring Mila Jovovich as Johnny Silverhand.
Oh man.
That's like the one thing I love about like these movies is that like they are most definitely a family affair. I salute like we all need like a woman like Mila Jovovich. Like like you're gonna do this movie, I'm gonna be in it. Like wait, what am I wearing? Okay, I got you, baby. Like
I'm wearing a Post-it note. Okay,
a ride or die. I think everyone needs like a Mila Jovovich in their lives.
Yeah, no, I it's very sweet. We've talked about it before. He's very much a wife guy, maybe the ultimate wife guy, because he has sort of single-handedly made his wife an action star in a period of time where there really are no action movies led by women. Like there aren't, especially for whole franchises. Like I can think of like maybe Charlie's Angels or something, but that's more of like action comedy. And it's like, this is just straight up action. And it's like a whole decade where she's kind of unopposed. Like I can't think of another action star who's a lady,
I will raise you Kate Beckinsale, because Kate Beckinsale had the Underworld franchise.
Oh, Underworld, right. Yes.
Because if you think about it, at the beginning of the 2000s, it was like 3 of them. I think it was Mila Jovovich, Kate Beckinsale, and then Angelina Jolie. But then Angelina Jolie kind of like pivoted out of that after like Mr. and Mrs. Smith and did like other stuff here and there. And then I think Charlize Theron kind of toyed with it for a brief second, but in the end of it all, it was Kate Beckinsale and Mila Jovovich that were just keeping those action female movies alive.
What about Catwoman and Elektra?
You know what? I watched Catwoman as a kid an embarrassing number of times. I don't know why, but we had like the DVD of it. I think Catwoman and Elektra are like kind of those like gas station impulse buys where it's like, yeah, I'd probably watch this. And it's like $2.
Yeah, like middle of nowhere, like, okay, cool. Well, I'm going to be in this hotel for a good minute. I might as well watch something. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I keep a copy of Catwoman in my car.
There you go.
Just in case.
It's funny that you do mention Underworld because for some reason I can't find it in the doc, but We'll just bring it up here. I don't know where I stuck that information. Maybe I just forgot to put it in. But, there were those big Sony leaks that happened around this time where the Sony email servers were hacked and everything. And all that information came out, like how they wanted Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man in the MCU and, stuff like that. And one of the emails that I found that was really interesting related to Resident Evil is that they wanted to do a Resident Evil crossover with Underworld.
Oh my God.
They wanted to do a whole movie that would have been Jovovich and Beckinsale, like both franchises crossing over. And this is the last of the Jovovich movies, so I can't think of a better time to bring it up, especially since you naturally just mentioned Underworld. So great minds think alike, because they were definitely like, hey, let's smash these two up.
Yes, that would have been amazing. Like Mila Jovovich fighting like werewolves and stuff like that. Oh yeah, and then the final boss would have been like some T-virus super zombie vampire or whatever. Oh my gosh.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that would have ruled.
I mean, if he could even make it, because he made Alien vs. Predator, if it was like Underworld v. Resident Evil, then maybe he'd make a good one. I don't know.
Yeah, it needs to be framed as some kind of fight.
Some crossover.
Like Mortal Kombat is nothing but people fighting each other one-on-one.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, we do have something more serious to talk about here. While shooting in Johannesburg, Olivia Jackson, Jovovich's stunt double, was severely injured in a motorcycle crash on set. At high speeds, the bike had collided with a camera crane that hadn't moved out of the way in time. Jackson was in a coma for weeks with extreme damage to her face, neck, spine, clavicle, scapula, ribs, and fingers. And in the end, her left arm had to be completely amputated. Jackson sued the producers a few years later in 2019, claiming in her lawsuit that the shot in question was introduced at the last minute by Anderson, was performed in adverse weather conditions they hadn't prepared for. She said that the producers misled her into believing that the film's insurance would pay for any and all injuries that occurred on set, but in the end, they would only pay her a measly $33,000 and did not offer liability coverage.
Yeah, it's messed up.
It is not the first time that we've talked about injuries on set for this show, but it is definitely severe. In April 2020, she won her lawsuit against the production, with the judge ruling that as a stunt performer, she hadn't voluntarily assumed the risk of the accident, and that Anderson's instructions to decrease the safety margin from the rehearsal to the take of the incident were to blame. Because essentially what happened is he's like, well, I want the camera to linger a little bit longer, so let's do another take where we move the crane out a little bit later than we did before. Yeah, so he's a fucking asshole. I mean, it's on the producers too for, not paying for health coverage and everything, but it's like this wouldn't have happened if he wasn't just going with the flow and just doing whatever he wants, which I think that is kind of what happened last time too. There were like extras on a platform that collapsed or something like that.
Oh, now I remember, yeah.
Oh my god.
That was last episode, I think.
Yeah, I think there might be another instance of it too. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's like not the first time someone's been injured, and it's not even the last on this movie.
Yeah, because I actually do remember like hearing about that woman, like Olivia Jackson.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, because I was like, oh yeah, because I haven't thought about her in a minute. Because I remember it was like she popped up on my Instagram story one of these days. Like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh wow. Yes, that's her.
Yeah, she was all over the news when this happened. Like it was way bigger than these movies ever got.
Mm-hmm.
She obviously would never work as a stunt performer again. I don't blame her. This is a pretty traumatic experience. Speaking to The Hollywood Reporter after the lawsuit was won in 2020, she had this to say, quote, I miss my old face. I miss my old body. I miss my old life. At least I now finally have a court judgment that proves this stunt was badly planned and that it was not my fault. Yeah, so fuck the producers and fuck Anderson for this. And yeah.
I don't know why she's complaining. She got $33,000.
Shit.
God, probably covered all her hospital bills.
And then some. She's basically set for life.
But unfortunately, Jackson would not be the only victim on this film's production. Just days after she had her arm amputated, something much worse occurred. Ricardo Cornelius and other members of the crew had the job of rotating the platform a Hummer was raised upon, and on December 3rd, the platform suddenly tilted, with the entire vehicle crushing him alive. He was rushed to the hospital, but it was impossible to save him. His wife would tell a local Cape Town paper this, quote, when I asked what happened, one of Cornelius's colleagues said Ricardo will have to stay in the hospital for a few days. I thought he hurt a finger or something, so I didn't worry too much. At the hospital, the doctors said that they might have to take him into theater as soon as he arrived. His heart stopped and they were fighting for his life, but managed to revive him again. The doctor said his lungs were completely His lungs were completely flat and he was bleeding a lot. I held his hand and I told him not to leave us because we need him and he is a strong man. I spoke to him, but the doctor said he didn't know what was going on around him. We were with him for about an hour, then he died. No one can tell me what happened. I need closure. His colleagues who I spoke to blocked me on WhatsApp. None of the bosses have even contacted me to tell me what happened. That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is insane. Jesus Christ.
Insane.
How does that even happen? A whole Humvee.
I don't know. Just shoddy construction. Because, like, again, one of the incidents we read about before was like a platform on their Toronto set collapsing. And like 70 people were injured, or 17 people. I know that's a big discrepancy. I can't remember which one it was. I don't know. Just shoddy construction of the set or something.
Was there ever a closure for this? Like, I feel like this has much more precedent of getting money too.
I could not find a lot of public discussion for this one past this point.
Jesus.
So I don't know if anyone knows how this ended. Well, I mean, we know how it ended for Ricardo. I don't know if his wife and his family ever got like compensation for it, but judging from how they treated Olivia Jackson, who was still alive to even fight the case, I don't know. I'm not expecting a great ending for Cornelius's family here.
It kind of just seems like, like this is all just like this all kind of seems like it was all just like handled like outside of public eye.
Yeah. No, I mean, not to mention it's all in fucking South Africa. Like, what kind of shoddy ass production are they running here? Like, what are the union protections like when you're shooting in this country versus domestically in the States?
100%. Yeah.
Because we just talked about this when we did our Highlander one off, but it's like in the UK, the union rules were a lot more lax. There were days where the producers were trying to just skip giving the crew breakfast. So it's like, it's not as good as it is here.
Oh man, like these are given like Tubi movie vibes that I have. Like the one Tubi movie I worked on. You know what? Shout out to Tubi movies, but I think I just had one really, really bad experience working on a Tubi movie, so I'm just tainted on them. So
what happened?
Oh my goodness. One of the movies that I worked on, it's out there now. But anyways, so everyone was like super late. I remember we had like 8 a.m. call time and stuff like that, and I shit you not, we did not start shooting until 3 p.m.
Oh my God.
We were that behind. And then all of a sudden, like, and because we were waiting on like an actor or whatever. And then all of a sudden, they wanted to do like a bar scene, and I was a boom mic operator for this scene. And then, but they were actually using like real weed basically, and they kept on like fucking up the takes though. So like, as every single like spliff, this is they were hitting and stuff like that. I was getting like high as a kite essentially. So after I got off like this. Damn, I'm sounding like now like a filmmaker. Like maybe my brain is getting like weed like off of these boxes and stuff like that. I came out a little loop like, oh, woo. Okay. Yeah, I just felt it. Oh, wait, it was an Apple box. It was an Apple box. So I was like,
suddenly I want to go to craft services.
Oh, man.
But then just that. And then also the messed up thing about it, I never got paid for that movie. And I had like a very, very cheap day rate of $100. So.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They had to buy all that weed.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah.
That's so fucking funny. You're using real weed for every take. That's dangerous. That's like borderline like deadly. Like I mean I know, and weed's not like heroin or anything, but it's like how many fucking takes were they doing? They were 5 hours late to the start of the shoot, So it's like,
yeah.
How many fucking joints did these actors have to take?
They had to roll them before.
I know. And then on my first day on set or whatever, it was a call time of 7 a.m. So I drive all the way out from like Ann Arbor. So I wake up at like 5, basically drive all the way out to the far east side of Detroit or whatever. And just early as hell, trying to make it there before 7. And then waiting outside. And then they didn't show up basically until 10 a.m. because no one told me. So I was just waiting forever. So that had to be like the worst filmmaking experience I've had. And it was so funny enough though, because I worked on a mutual friend of ours movie that same year, Jesse McAnally's Daughters of Domino.
Yes, we had him on for Afterlife.
You had him on for Afterlife. Oh, I'm about to say like if he had snagged Extinction, I would have been like, you son of a bitch. But anyway.
No, we didn't have any people on before Afterlife. I wish we had somebody on for Extinction. We have a guest coming on the show later who's got a great Extinction story that I don't want to spoil.
Oh, awesome.
I wish we had him for that.
Yeah, but anyway, so going off for that like experience on his film set, which was like very, very like professional and stuff like that. And stuff like even though like it was like his very first time shooting a feature film, then going off to this experience. A great lesson for me on what to do on the film set and what not to do on the film set. So humbly experience in the end.
Yeah.
The Tubi one sounds like a student film almost.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's surprisingly enough, it wasn't a student film.
I feel like a lot of quote unquote professional productions in the area often still feel like student films.
Oh yeah.
I don't think some people ever graduate to the next level, you know?
Yeah.
Even though they've got money, they're still treating it like it's,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll get Little Caesars for lunch or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
I know a guy who worked on a shoot where the actor inexplicably decided to shave his head halfway through the shoot.
Ain't no way.
Not joking. The main guy just shaved his head halfway through.
Ain't no way. Oh my god.
And so they had to redo everything. I think
Oh
that's
my
what they ended
God.
up doing. I would have killed him.
Gosh.
Just inexplicably like mid-scene, he just changed to be bald.
If it was me, I would have just given him a fucking wig. I don't care how bad it would have looked. You're gonna have hair whether you like it or not.
Yeah. Like going back onto that movie, like there was like I won't say that like it was like a terrible shoot. Like there was good people on that set. I would say like there was a lot of good people and they're still working today. But like the Rotten Apples, they kind of ruined it for me. So I'll say that.
Yeah.
Just to end on a positive note. So yeah.
Yeah.
Why'd they have rotten apples on set?
I don't know, man.
So let's go to the state of movies in Resident Evil at the time of release. Notable movies released around this time, about 30 days from the final chapter's release. Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, Sing, Passengers, Hidden Figures, Split, Triple X, The Return of Xander Cage, and A Dog's Purpose. So, you know, some action movies. There's some competition here. I think I saw Rogue One. I didn't see any of these when they came out. I think I've seen Rogue One, Hidden Figures, and Split. Obviously, Rogue One is making most of the money here, but
Funny enough, Triple X Return of Xander Cage was actually shot in Detroit.
oh yeah,
Yeah, so like I'm not sure if you've seen it, but in the end of the movie, they're kind of like in a church or whatever, and then they were singing in these pews or whatever, and that church scene was actually my family's church. Church
my
if
God.
I'm like my grandparents' church, like right next to the Fox Theater, if I'm correct. But yeah.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
I hope there's like a Vin Diesel stand-up in there now.
Oh, like a you mean a standee, like
Yeah.
the cardboard cutout? Yeah,
Mhm.
just keep him in the pews. Yeah. Anyway, Resident Evil. We've had 4 years since the last film, and there are 3 more titles that would release. A sequel to Revelations, appropriately titled Resident Evil Revelations 2, which would release across February and March 2015, taking place between RE5 and 6. So what do I mean by across? I mean that reservations. It sounds like it'd be one of the subtitles to one of these things. Revelations 2 is the first and only game in the franchise to use an episodic release schedule. This format was all the rage in the mid-2010s, if anybody remembers, after the breakout success of the Telltale games' mega hit, The Walking Dead. So, episodic games, that's something that doesn't happen anymore.
I think they kind of do. They had that. Oh, never mind. Was that episodic? But there was that game called Dispatch or some shit like that.
No,
Was
that came out all at once.
Oh, it did. Okay, my bad.
No, there was episodes.
I know they have like an episode format, but I don't think they released them piecemeal.
Oh,
Maybe I'm
okay.
wrong about that. It's been on my wish list for a while, but I don't know.
I think they did.
I don't know. I thought that was episodic because it kind of seemed like an episodic movie, like episodic video game.
I know it was made by ex-Telltale developers. Okay, I'm wrong. I just looked it up. Yeah. They released 2 episodes a week across October and November of 2025. So you were right, Ken. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, I just thought it was all... I liked this format. I don't know. It was kind of a gimmick, but I did like being able to play something new every few weeks. It's kind of like watching television in that way, where it's like if I was playing The Walking Dead Season 2, it would be nice to have a new episode a month instead of having to wait a whole year to get a new season. But I can see why they dropped it. It doesn't seem like the most profitable format because you could always have people who buy the first couple episodes and then fall off.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. At the same time, I guess you could get revenue as you go along, instead of developing the whole game without any money coming in. So,
But I feel like to do that, you have to have the whole game developed. So, I
what do you
mean, I
mean?
guess you'd like if you're going along, they kind of made these all like ready to go, right? It's not like they were doing.
I mean, I guess
one-
depends on how long they. Yeah, that's true. I guess depending on when the episodes are coming out, they would probably be mostly put together.
And in 2016, Capcom would release a military shooter simply called Umbrella Corp, attempting to cash in on the popularity of franchises like Call of Duty and the rise of esports.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody has seen gameplay of this, but Umbrella Corps is basically like.
It looks like a nightmare, honestly.
Yeah, it's like, what if we just had Call of Duty, but there are Resident Evil zombies just shuffling around the map at the same time?
So was it like PvP, but then there's just random zombies?
Yeah, that's what I remember. I never got the chance to play it. I'm fairly certain. I've been wrong a lot today, it seems, but I'm fairly certain that the servers are still dead. Like, I think they killed them pretty early.
And you know what's crazy though? They actually had a pretty decent game like that. Like that was kind of like a PvP zombie game. It was called Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. It was like a video game that like took place in between,
yes,
like in between
2 and 3
or whatever.
Yeah,
and you play as like
we talked about that one last week. Yeah, that's it's a fun one. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the idea of having the zombies around while you're just going through the levels, and
yeah.
this was more like player versus player, which is interesting. And I'm wrong about this too. The servers for Umbrella Corps are still up. Which is really funny considering how many of the newer Resident Evil multiplayer games they've put out and scrapped.
It's full price at $20.
Oh my god. I've only ever seen one video of this game, and it's somebody playing by themselves because the servers are like not closed, but there's nobody in them. I'm looking right now. It says that there's 130 people or something.
Oh wow.
The Steam stats, right?
Is it bad? I kind of want to buy it.
It was like the RE4 village map. Like the exact village from Resident Evil 4.
We should go and do like a stream-a-thon.
I would love to do that. We could get some people. I don't know. Is Operation Raccoon City on Steam?
Because I think it is on Steam. I think it is on Steam.
And then Umbrella Corps. I mean, hey, if the servers are still up.
I don't think Raccoon City's on Steam.
Ah, shit.
I think I got on Xbox, so
it says it's on Windows. Maybe it was like one of those games for Windows Live things, which makes it kind of unplayable in a legal sense if that's the case, because games for Windows Live hasn't existed for like 10 years.
And finally, just 3 days before the worldwide release of the final chapter, Capcom will release Resident Evil 7 Biohazard on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. This entry took the series back to its survival horror roots, with a lot less action and spectacle, and more resource management and exploration. And the biggest change? An entirely first-person camera, a first for a main entry in the series. Resident Evil 7 would also mark the series' first foray into virtual reality, with full VR headset support for the PS4 version of the game via PSVR, which is PlayStation VR. I'd love to play that in VR.
Yeah, there's still no official PC VR support for RE7.
Why can't they just port that over? They already have the framework, right?
I hear you. I've been screaming about it for almost 10 years. But there are mods that do the job these days. So if you want to play RE7 in VR on PC, you can do it. What do you think of RE7, Ken?
Have I played RE7? I have I've beaten it, but I got like the jacked up ending. I mean, not really that. Wait, have you guys beaten it?
Yes.
Okay, so spoilers. So in the end, you're given like the antidote. I did not give it up to my girlfriend.
Oh my god.
I gave it up to the other girl. I was like, you know what? You've helped me out this whole entire time, while this other woman is like been killing me. I'm like, no, screw my girlfriend. You deserve it. So then I found out that was the wrong choice.
You let your wife die for this random lady you just met
in the swamp.
That's crazy.
This random lady that I just met basically like was helping me out the whole entire time. And like, this is like a side tangent on getting like attached to characters and stuff like that. Like, hot take, basically, I did not shed a single tear when Joel lost his daughter in The Last of Us.
I don't think I cried, but I was pretty bummed out.
Because I didn't feel anything because I just met the girl. I was like, oh, wait, what? Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm cold-hearted, but that was just me.
Oh, damn. Anyways.
Yeah.
That's funny. And the game like punishes you for it because you said it was the bad ending, which it is. Because doesn't
Yeah.
Zoe still die?
Yeah, she still dies.
Yeah.
And then the one where she actually lives is the one where you don't give her the cure because there's the DLC with her uncle who goes and rescues her.
Her and Mia die in the bad ending.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I just played that. Before 9 came out, I replayed all of them, and I did that ending this time instead of choosing Mia. And then she's like, Zoe just gets murked like immediately when you get to the boat. It's kind of funny.
I think it's fantastic. I think it is still the scariest game in the series.
Oh, 100%.
For me, it's either 7 or 1. I really love 1, but I think the first person does a lot, and the atmosphere is so creepy. I mean, I don't think it's the best game in the series, but it's definitely up there. Like, it's really good.
Yeah, it's like it's a great game. 100%.
And compared to RE6, and we talked about that last week. That was quite the departure.
Yeah, the Paul W.S. Anderson game.
Yeah,
series.
exactly. Normally, this is what takes the most time, I think, but considering what this movie is and consists of, I don't think we're going to be talking about it for that long.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Dr. James Marcus, the founder of the Umbrella Corporation, had a daughter, Alicia, who was dying of progeria. Desperate to save her, Marcus confiscates an untested embryonic umbrella project, the T-virus, created by his colleague, Dr. Charles. They're already doing retconning in the plot synopsis. This is not what even is described in the movie. Dr. Ashford's name never even comes up, which is one of my complaints. But anyway, created by his colleague, Dr. Charles Ashford, and uses it on Alicia and others with the disease. After one child treated with the virus becomes a zombie, Marcus immediately orders the project terminated, all data on it destroyed, and forbids Ashford from ever pursuing it again, devastating Ashford, who, again, this is not Ashford's not in the movie at all. Devastating Ashford, who needed the T-virus to save his own daughter, Angela. Marcus's partner, Dr. Alexander Isaacs, has Marcus murdered by Albert Wesker, adopts Alicia, and takes over the corporation. Okay, yeah, so we get our final Alice voiceover. And at first I was like, oh, did they recast Ashford? Because I was mixing up Ashford and Marcus, who's a new character in this movie. And I'm like, oh, did they just recast Jared Harris as whoever the hell this actor is? And it's like, no, he just invented a new character. I know he's from the games, but for these movies, he's never come up. Dr. Marcus has a daughter, and he created the T-virus to treat her illness, which is exactly what Dr. Ashford's whole thing was in Apocalypse. Like, they say that Dr. Ashford created the T-virus to heal his daughter so she could walk again. It's literally the exact same thing from Apocalypse with a different man and a different daughter, and they've just retconned who made it.
Yeah, I think they were just like expecting you guys aren't gonna pay that heavy to this lore. Yeah.
Hell no. If we weren't watching all these movies back to back to back, I don't think anybody would catch this. No, you'd have to be really paying attention and picking them apart. Yeah, I just thought it was weird. Like, I don't know. It's literally the exact same scenario from movie 2. Also, they retconned it so that Alicia is the inspiration for the Red Queen, which I called in the Apocalypse episode. I think we had a discussion where Thomas and I were like, is Ashford's daughter supposed to be the reason why the Red Queen AI is like a little girl? And they never confirm or deny it. Now they've decided, okay, well, it's actually this other little girl.
She's not British anymore.
But she is, though. That's the weird thing, is like her dad's American, she's American, and then the Red Queen is speaking with a British accent.
You know what? This was also time because that Red Queen, where it came out, it was the Y2K Euro stuff was so in fashion and really cool at the time. So they say, yeah, we want to make this company look like sophisticated and evil. They have to be British.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
The Red Queen in this is actually played by Anderson and Jovovich's daughter.
No, really?
Yeah.
It's weird. And Thomas, I think, mentioned it earlier, Wesker is suddenly acting like the muscle to Dr. Isaacs, which I thought was very strange because,
Oh yeah, when he puts the bag over his head.
Yeah, it's like, why is he acting like the heavy? It's like, he's supposed to be the guy that at the end of Apocalypse or Extinction, it's like he's clearly supposed to be Dr. Isaac's boss. So what happened in the Umbrella hierarchy that he's suddenly the muscle in this flashback? I don't know. I mean, the answer is they didn't put any thought into it. They're like, okay, we're going to bring Wesker back again, and we're just going to have him be the muscle.
This whole opening part was so dumb to me, and it was it went by so fast. It was 6 minutes long or something. I don't know. It just felt like it was a lot going on.
It was a lot, yeah.
Plus the fact that it's retconning everything.
Yeah, and the retcons are only going to get worse. We should just move on to the next paragraph.
In the present, Alice awakens in the ruined White House after Wesker betrayed her, which is not shown at all. Oh, so dumb. The Red Queen appears and tells her she has 48 hours to infiltrate the Hive, facility beneath Raccoon City. The Umbrella Corporation has an airborne antivirus that can kill every zombie, but is waiting for the last few remaining humans to be wiped out. As her body carries the virus, Alice does not expect to live after the mission. This whole part was so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, like all this time, like you guys had this cure, basically, and stuff like that. And then also at the beginning of the movie and stuff like that, they had like this huge Washington DC siege and stuff like that with all the zombies. Like they showed a clip of that. I was like, oh, holy shit, this is gonna pop off. Basically, like that would have been like the best time to go and make this stuff be airborne. Like, oh no.
Yeah, the final shot of Retribution is this like really complex CGI heavy shot of the White House. And it's like, it looks like a fucking heavy metal album cover or something. There's like dragons and fire and explosions and zombies. And it's like the White House and barbed wire. And it's like, yeah, this is fucking awesome. I can't wait to see the final chapter follow this up. And final chapter opens and it's like, everyone is dead. Everyone is dead. And Wesker inexplicably betrayed Alice and also pretended to give her powers back. Which makes no fucking sense because it's like, how would you not immediately know that you don't have your powers back? It doesn't make any sense.
Did they even say that? I don't remember them saying that everyone was dead.
Alice says something like there are 4,392 people left alive. And, you know, she's clearly by herself. So I think the implication is that like Barry and Leon and everybody else from Retribution who's at the White House is just dead. Like everyone is dead except for her.
They got off screen. And also retcons too, because in the last one, which I guess I'm kind of glad they retconned it, but it doesn't matter. Wesker's like, these are the last humans alive on Earth at the White House. And then they're like, there's 4,000 people left on Earth around the world. Which then also, the Red Queen's like, 48 hours, everyone's dead. I'm like, why?
Yeah, it's complete gibberish. None of this makes sense. And I agree, Ken. Like, if you had the airborne virus or antivirus, why wouldn't you fucking use it? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Also, if the Hive had an antivirus, why didn't the Red Queen just release it or give it to Alice when they were trapped together there? I don't know canonically how many years ago it would have been, but at least like 5, right?
It seemed like they said 10 years. It's been 10 years since like it came out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I missed that part. It's just like the Red Queen, like part of the twist in the first movie is that she's not a malevolent, like evil AI that's trying to kill all people. It's that she's just trying to contain the infection. So why in the fuck would you not use the airborne antivirus if you had it? It doesn't make any sense. It's like, here is the solution to all of our problems, and I've just been holding on to it arbitrarily for no reason.
You know what? There could be like a reason why is that like maybe Umbrella was still on Windows 98 and they were still trying to update the Windows Vista, and that's what took them so long.
Yeah. She had a software update or something.
Yeah, there we go.
I guess that makes some kind of sense. The movie doesn't offer any explanation for this. They do the same shit they were doing in, well, I guess a bunch of the movies, but in Retribution, you know, Wesker just comes on the screen and starts spouting exposition at us. And it's the same here where it's like Red Queen comes on screen and she's just talking to Alice, talking to the audience, and she's explaining like a video game objective. Like, oh, we got to go get the MacGuffin. It's like, well, the MacGuffin's in the same fucking place we've been at before. And I don't understand why Wesker would trick Alice, and how could he have pretended to give her powers back? It's just a throwaway line. I don't think Wesker, when he pops up again later, says anything about it. But like, why the fuck would you betray? I shouldn't get so invested.
It's such a weird pivot from the last movie, though.
Yeah, because the last one's like, okay, Wesker's on our side, enemy of my enemy. And so you figure, okay, this movie, they're going to be working together. And yeah, he's probably going to betray her. But it's like, this movie starts after all the exciting stuff.
Mm-hmm. And it sucked, too, because in 4, they actually had the follow-up from 3 with the clones or whatever at the beginning. And I was like, oh, so they actually can follow up on things. But then in this one, they don't follow up on like anything directly or like follow what happened at the end of the last movie. They just kind of skip forward.
Yeah, it was really disappointing. They did the same thing they did in Extinction, where it's like the opening of Extinction says like, oh, the Earth is suddenly Mad Max.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, which is very, very, like, weird to me, too. It was like, wait a minute, like, going from Resident Evil 3 to, like, to the 4th one where everything is not like a desert, essentially. It's like, oh, okay. Very, very jarring.
Very jarring. So while traveling, Alice is captured by Isaacs, learning that the, quote, Isaacs she previously killed was a clone. She escapes his convoy and reaches Raccoon City, where she meets a group of survivors. None of these people matter. Doc, Abigail, Christian, Cobalt, Razor, and Claire Redfield, who survived the attack on Arcadia. Isaac's convoy approaches, trailed by a horde of zombies. Alice and the group defeat them and retrieve Isaac's few human captives, though Cobalt dies in the process. I don't even remember which one that was. I don't know which one of these assholes Cobalt was. Alice and the crew enter the hive, where Wesker is in control. He releases mutated guard dogs, killing Christian. Again, don't know. I don't remember who that was.
Chris Chan?
No, not Christian. No.
You know what, actually, like, when I think about it, too, there was, like, one survivor that was just a little boy with, like, a golf club or something like that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, there was a kid. I do remember a shot, like a single shot of a kid.
And he pops up like, a couple times. I was like, who is this little boy? And where is his mom? It's just very, very eclectic.
Yeah. So the clone Isaac's thing is really lame. I guess it doesn't contradict the lore because it's like, yeah, he was the one who was cloning Alice, but it sucks.
I found it very, very interesting too that like they made this Isaac be like a very, very religious fanatic, basically. Because like throughout all of the Resident Evil movies, there's been like not a single lick of like religion mentioned in all of these movies and stuff like that. So now for them to go and like to put like a very religious aspect of churchiness and like of Christianity, I found that be very, like, that was an interesting choice.
They went to the church in the one movie, though.
Oh, yeah. Remember, Alice went to church once.
Oh, yeah.
With her motorcycle. I guess it's kind of interesting, but it's like, it's just too late. This guy, he's already been the villain for like 3 of the other movies. And it's like, I don't know. I don't understand the motivation behind Isaacs and Wesker. There's like a few different scenes where they're talking about like letting all the humans die out so they have a new pure world. And it's like, a pure world for what? Like, I don't understand. It's complete nonsense to me. Like, what do you mean build a new society? I know that's like a kind of a cliche thing. Like even the new Naked Gun movie, that's kind of the villain's plan, is to let everybody kill each other so they can come out of the bunkers and have like a new world to work with. But it's like, I don't understand the motivation there. These are supposed to be smart people. What do you gain from wiping everyone out and then coming back up to the surface?
Yeah.
Like I don't understand, like, from the villain's perspective, what you get out of that.
I guess then they can just reshape society to how they view it.
Couldn't they already do that as like heads of one of the biggest corporations in the world with unlimited resources?
Or now with just 4,000 people alive.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is like, now there's like 4,000 fucking people alive. You have an even better chance of controlling what's left of the world and the population.
Also, this synopsis is cutting out so much because this is like half the movie.
Yeah, well, most of it is just action. Like, there is very little plot.
The most jump cuttiest action I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh yeah,
it's very choppy.
Yeah, I was thinking about like the road scene where like she gets on top of the roof and fights Isaac. There was like so many cuts basically of just random stuff. I was like, why are you cutting so much?
Yeah, it's bad. I remember the scene at the end, not to jump too far ahead, but the laser hallway, the return of the laser hallway, so many cuts, so many little cuts that make it feel way clunkier than it should.
Exactly.
I noticed that in the first part because I had a note and I was like, this might be the worst cinematography and editing of the whole franchise. Like, she'll usually be driving down a road and it cuts to like 5 different camera angles of a car. Or they jump into the water at one point and it shows them hitting the water like 5 different times from different angles.
Yeah, it's baffling how bad it is. I mean, like, the other ones have had good action scenes before with some so-so editing, and I don't know, they were at least still entertaining and like watchable, but I feel like this is really hitting a new low for the series, which I didn't think was possible, because I don't know, I kind of thought 4 was all right. And then Retribution was kind of whatever. And then here we are back again in the depths of just some of the worst action editing I've ever seen.
But you know what? I will say this. I'm such a sucker for siege moments in movies and stuff like that. I did kind of feel that like the siege of the big survivor base was really cool. Especially with the like oil, basically like gasoline, making like this huge like fire pit for all the zombies. That was probably like the only cool part.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I like that. I would make the argument that all of the movies have good action set pieces. It's just that it's in the execution that things could be better. And I had the thought earlier, at the beginning of this paragraph, they talk about her getting captured. Alice is on a motorcycle riding into the apocalyptic ruins of Raccoon City to find the cure for the T-virus in an underground Umbrella laboratory. And I was just like, this is literally Requiem. This is literally RE9.
Yeah, I was thinking that too I was watching. I was like, whoa, okay, Paul W.S. Anderson was onto something.
Yeah.
And then you saw the rest of the movie and you were like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. There's a Wesker clone in RE9, kind of like the Isaac's clone. Yeah, man. That was funny.
I did think it was kind of funny when they have her tied up behind the tank thing or whatever. It made me think of like a shitty mobile game ad. Like, escape the zombies.
Yeah, I kind of get what you mean, yeah. I didn't hate that either, the whole, like, she's being dragged behind the tank thing. It did feel, like, weirdly low stakes for something that the main villain would be doing. Like, why is he just kind of driving around in a weird little tank thing in the first place? But I did take note that, like, the big bombastic action scenes, like the oil fire, like you guys were talking about, that doesn't happen until, like, 38 minutes into the movie. This movie's 90 minutes.
It's like a third in. Probably a little bit more than a third.
I just thought that was interesting because usually these movies don't take that long to get going.
Yeah, it did take a little bit of a while, but you know what it was? So I felt like the big first action sequence was like that, the zombie, the zombie pterodactyl, whatever.
Oh yeah, where the whole thing feels like it's at 1.5 times speed.
Oh yeah, like it felt like a huge like QuickTime event.
It really kind of pissed me off too, because going into this, I didn't know who was going to be in this. And I had just assumed that they'd bring back like Chris, Claire, Jill, Leon, all like the favorites. And then we have Doc, Abigail, Christian, Cobalt, Razor, and Claire Redfield. Claire was by far like my least favorite of the Resident Evil game characters. And I'm like, really? This is what we're going with?
And even in this movie, she really had nothing to do. She was just like, okay, I'm just going to be here for a few scenes. And near the end, I actually kind of like forgot that Claire was even in the movie. I was like, oh man, oh yeah.
Yeah, she has nothing to do.
Yeah, literally nothing to do.
It felt weird too because the last one had the whole feeling of being like nostalgic and playing up the old movies when they should have saved that for this one, and it actually would have been better. And I think I would have liked it more.
Yeah, I did like, and then I'm not sure like I'm not even sure where like she even got it up, but she had that triple barreled sawed off shotgun. I'm not sure that was from the last one or just.
It's really weird. I noticed that one of the other guys has like a pistol that's got like 2 barrels. It's just like, I don't know if it's like a thing with Anderson, but like he's like, yeah, I want all the guns to have more than 1 barrel. There has to be at least 2 barrels on every weapon.
Mm-hmm. Assault rifle, 2 barrels.
I think it's around this point when Wesker is talking to. I didn't divide my notes up by the paragraphs in the plot synopsis, but there's a part where Isaacs literally says, either to Alice or to Wesker, we're going to create a world we can reboot in our image, which I just thought was funny because by this point they already knew they were going to reboot this franchise.
A little tongue-in-cheek line, maybe. Did anyone else think it was really funny when she was fighting Isaac's clone on the tank thing? And first of all, he was like kind of holding his own. But then also, she has him dead to rights and only cuts off his hand and leaves. I'm like, just kill him. What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know. They got to make the movie last 90 minutes. How are they going to do that if she kills him 40 minutes into the movie? She's aware.
The Red Queen appears to Alice and explains that her program is in conflict, as she can never hurt an Umbrella employee, but also must value human life. She plays a video of Isaacs explaining to Umbrella executives a plan to release the T-Virus, cleansing the world of humanity and leaving many of the rich and powerful, including the company executives, stored in cryogenic capsules in the hive to rebuild the world. The Red Queen warns Alice that someone in her group is helping Umbrella.
Another dumb retcon. They released the T-Virus deliberately. In the first movie, it's already stupid, but it's revealed that Alice's fake husband from the Hive like mansion cover building is the one who released it because he like saw Alice talking to Matt's sister. What is her name? Lisa or something?
I'm like, how do you remember that? That's crazy.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm diseased. I've got the T-Virus bonded to me on a cellular level. Yeah, it's a dumb retcon. It's like, I don't know. He released it just as a spur of the moment thing or something. Or it was dumb in the first movie, but it's dumb here that they would release it deliberately. Because it's like, what do you mean cleansing the world?
Yeah, like near the end of it all, when they were like explaining why they did it too, I was like, okay, that's just kind of dumb. You see, pollution, overpopulation, war, the ice caps are melting. Let's just start like a zombie apocalypse. We can just start all over again. Like, oh my gosh.
And it's like, you're the assholes that have caused all of that. Like, it's all rich people's fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Paul didn't know enough to tackle that angle, though.
No. I'll bring it up again later, but it's like, if you kill everybody, there's nobody to lord over. Like, you want to have like a life of complete luxury and relaxation that's built on the exploitation of labor. of other people. If there's no one to grow your fucking food or, serve you drinks at the country club, like you can't have that fucking nice experience that you want. You're going to be stuck in a fucking bunker. And when you come back out, you're going to be in a fucking desert wasteland where there's nothing. Like, okay, have fun eating canned peaches for 50 years and then shooting yourself in the head. Like, I don't think, what is the plan here? It's like, even in real life, that's the plan, is like Zuckerberg and all these guys, they're buying bunkers in Hawaii and shit. And it's like, well, if life on Earth ends as we know it, what kind of existence are you looking forward to? And even the richest of bunkers, I don't know. To me, it just doesn't compute. There is more incentive to keep the world going, especially if you're rich.
They also had that huge cryostasis thing of all those people that worked at Umbrella in their base as well. Like, so maybe they might have like cryogenically just like saved all of Umbrella Corporation's like HR department. So they just probably just would have just like sorted out who's going to be serving and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, you survive the apocalypse and then like HR does it, says, yeah, I mean, you're going to be like a server or a slave in this new world.
Okay. You know what? That makes a little more sense. Yeah. I can see that.
I was just pondering, and they have the hives underneath Raccoon City, and it has everyone that's cryogenically frozen. They also shot a missile, and it barely touched like the hive. It got there's like a little entryway. If that missile was like 5 feet to the right, it would have just killed them all.
Mm-hmm. They might have bought off that missile. They're like, destroy Raccoon City, but just aim it at this spot specifically. So we'll be good. Okay.
The group encounters traps that kill Abigail and Razor. Sure. Alice and Doc plant bombs throughout the hive taken from the leftover equipment by the first hive team and confront the real tech-upgraded Isaacs. They make it sound like he's a cyborg.
I mean, basically is.
I guess.
Yeah, I was kind of curious about that too, because like they never really like explained it. I was gonna ask you guys, did they like show that like in the 5th one, or is he just like?
No, he's not in that one at all.
So it just makes like no sense why he has all this cyborg technology in his body.
The last time he shows up is in Extinction, and he's like half tyrant.
Well, that's his clone.
Right. Well, whatever. Doc turns out to be Umbrella's spy, and Claire is captured by Wesker. A cryogenic capsule releases Alicia Marcus, Umbrella's co-owner and Marcus's daughter. Isaacs and the Red Queen reveal to Alice that she is actually a clone of Alicia. Isaacs plans to eliminate the pair and assume control of Umbrella. Alicia fires Wesker, allowing the Red Queen to terminate his protection program and crush his leg with a security door. Doc tries to shoot Alice, but his gun is empty, as Alice had earlier deduced his treachery. Of course she did. And Claire kills him. After giving Wesker a dead man switch to the prime bombs, Alice and Claire pursue Isaacs while Alicia uploads a copy of her childhood memories. Woo! Okay, that was a lot. Why the fuck? Okay, first of all, was anybody convinced at all by the Alicia Alice twist? Did no one see it coming?
You know what? Here goes something like near the end, because like in the boardroom and stuff like that, you actually like they didn't really go and do like a good job modulating like Mila Jovovich's voice. Basically, it's like
no, not at all.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it just sounds just like Mila Jovovich.
Immediately, I was like, okay, that's Jovovich. Like,
I clocked it. It was my 4th note. I said, wait, is Alicia going to be Alice?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is like the name is literally Alicia. Come on, God damn these movies. And why are they arguing about percentages? Like, this ties into what I was saying earlier. But it's like, there's 4,000 people left on Earth. There is no purpose in playing corporation anymore. You're playing like these corporate boardroom games where it's like, oh, I have the majority shareholder percentage of ownership over Umbrella. And it's like, everyone is dead. What are you talking about? It's like, what does it matter if one of you owns more percentages of the company? There's 3 people in this room. Just kill her. Like, it doesn't actually matter.
We had the good line, though. The trinity of bitches.
Yeah. We almost opened the episode with that. I do like that they just rip off RoboCop. Like in RoboCop, when the old man fires Dick Jones, and then RoboCop shoots him out the window. It's like Alicia fires Wesker so Wesker can kill Isaacs.
Mm-hmm. How did he die so easily, too? Because in the last one, Wesker like had his head blown, or not the last one, the one before, he had his head blown open and his brain was gone. And then in this one, his ankle's crushed, and he's like, "Oh, my ankle! Yeah, I'm dead."
It's inconsistent. I also thought it was funny because it's like both Wesker and Isaacs have died before, and they're both back. Wesker died in 4, and he's miraculously back for 5 and 6. And you know, they do the stupid clone retcon, but it's like Isaacs definitely died in 3, and he's gone for 2 movies. It's just funny that this series can't come up with any new villains. They have to keep bringing back the Wesker and Isaacs.
Yeah, man, you can't keep a good pimp down for sure.
They should put that on the box.
Yeah.
It was nice that they had, in this film, we finally have the OP villain to the OPOC Alice. Because he's like, he has combat predictive abilities and is super strong and like a cyborg.
That was something else they were ripping off, was they were ripping off the Denzel movie, The Equalizer. Because in The Equalizer, Denzel Washington goes up to like this mob boss's office and he's like visualizing all the different ways he can approach like knocking out all the people in the room using like, I think literally a decanter and like a bottle or something.
It's funny you mentioned that because I just edited that for work yesterday.
Oh, really? Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah. It's literally that scene. Really funny stuff.
I think I just stopped taking notes because I was just like, can we just get this movie over with?
Yeah.
I only have 2 more bullet points for the rest of the plot.
The only thing that does come to my mind is just Ruby Rose's death. Basically, I forgot who her character was because like she was like the mechanic of the group, and then oh no, Ruby Rose got sliced by this big fan. It's like, oh
Yeah, they introduced her like in the middle of that whole fight earlier.
yeah.
She's like, you built this? I need you to make some adjustments. And then she also turns like a little crane into like a trebuchet. And then she dies 5 minutes later after like 5 minutes of screen time. And then Alice is like, no, my BFF.
Ruby Rose.
Isaacs, Alice, and Claire fight. Isaacs overpowers them at first, but Alice manages to activate a grenade in his pocket and kill him. She escapes to the surface with the antivirus, but Isaacs reboots and catches her before she can release it. Before he can kill her, the Isaacs clone from the convoy arrives and kills him, believing himself to be the original Isaacs, before being devoured by the undead. Alice releases the antivirus, killing all the zombies around her before she passes out. Wesker simultaneously drops the dead man switch, destroying himself, Alicia, the Hive, and the hibernating elite.
That all happens in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And like the 30 seconds where Isaac dies, the clone makes a big deal out of him not being a clone, and then he gets eaten immediately, and then Wesker drops the detonator, and then Alicia fucking explodes. It made me laugh out loud because it all happens in like, 30 seconds. Just boom, 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 boom.
When she like pulls his detonator off his body and stuff like that, I immediately had got like Fallout vibes, basically, where you can go and like put like a live mine in someone's pants or something like that.
Yeah,
and just blow them up. I was like, oh, okay, someone plays Fallout.
Yeah, I didn't even think. Also, this doesn't even mention the laser hallway. That was cool. I like that they used it. I know they brought it back earlier when they're walking through and they have like the little flashbacks to the first movie, but I like how it's covered in dirt and grime, and as the lasers are passing, it's becoming clearer. That was fun.
Except it also raised a question for me because they're fighting in the laser hallway and then she gets punched through the wall and I'm like, oh, they could have just done that the whole time. Like they could have just broke because it's glass.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I assumed in the first movie it was just super strong glass, like bulletproof glass or something. But I mean, Alice doesn't even have her powers in this movie.
Apparently.
Yeah, allegedly. I mean, they said she didn't have them in 4, and in 4 she does some fucking crazy stuff. So what a finale.
It's funny to me that they're like the antivirus is airborne, and then it's just like, okay, well it's gonna spread around for a while. Because the way they were talking about it at first, I thought like once it touched the air, it would kill everything on Earth, like all the T-virus.
Yeah,
that's what I got. Like I got like the vibe of that too, though, because in the first couple of Resident Evil movies, like that virus spreads fast, and then now it's like like it's gonna maybe like take about 3 to 4 years until it kills everything.
And it's like the T-virus wasn't even airborne.
I thought they were gonna like cloudburst it or something.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, something like that. No, it's just like one little vial. She just breaks it where she's standing, and she's like, yeah, it'll get everywhere eventually. It's like, okay. There's only 4,000 something people left on planet Earth. So, and the Red Queen did say they would only have 48 hours until the zombies would kill the rest of those people. So it's like, you're being very nonchalant about the fact that this virus isn't going to sweep the planet in time to save the people that are still not zombies.
I was confused because it made it sound like the Red Queen was causing the attacks on the settlements at some point.
The Red Queen is very inconsistent in these movies. Like anytime she pops up, she seems to be contradicting herself or contradicting itself.
For me, I was like expecting Mila Jovovich to die. and stuff like that. But then like they kind of made up like this weird reason, like like the reason why like you didn't die is because like you still had like enough healthy cells in your body, so like it just killed all the bad ones and left all the good ones. I was like, wait, what? Okay.
Yeah, complete horseshit. If there's one thing this movie series drills into your head, it's that Alice is bonded with the T virus at a cellular level. They say some variation of that sentence in every fucking movie starting with Apocalypse. And now they're like, oh yeah, you're actually alive because you weren't a zombie and they just killed the T virus cells. She doesn't even have the fucking T virus cells because at the beginning of 4, Wesker injects her with the thing and the literal T-shaped cells in her body, are like, I guess maybe they're still in the bloodstream, but they're dissipated or turned off or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's a cop-out. I agree. She should have died here. So Claire wakes Alice, who survived because the antivirus killed the T-virus within her body, not the healthy cells. Yeah, we just went over that. The Red Queen uploads Alicia's childhood memories into Alice, granting her a childhood. With the antivirus being carried by the winds, it will take years to reach all the corners of the globe, and until it does, Alice vows to continue her mission. Yeah, so we basically already described this. The only part that my only note left is the quote, like, the childhood you never had combined with the woman she could never become. I actually like that a lot. I think the idea of like this woman who aged too quickly and then this woman who was born an adult and the way that they're kind of filling each other's, well, I mean, Alicia's dead, but you know what I mean? Like it's like missing puzzle pieces, I kind of like that. It's in service of a really shitty movie and it would be a good premise for a movie or something, but like they don't even reveal Alicia until the last minute. But I do think that was actually like one stroke of genius in this script.
But then like, I don't know, it didn't feel earned or anything. So it's like, okay, you have all the memories now. Cool.
No, not really. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know.
She didn't seem that affected by it either.
I was going to say, Alice never really laments the fact that she never had a real life before, because that's another retcon that this movie introduces. Like, even if she's a clone, she would still have the memories of the real Alice. But I thought what they were saying here is that the Alice we thought was the real Alice from the first 2 movies was also a clone of Alicia, right? So, yeah, I don't know. She never really is like, man, I wish I had a childhood. That's not anything that ever comes up in this.
Well, in this one, they're like, don't you ever wonder why you never had any memories before waking up in that room? And I'm like, well, I thought at some point she regained all of them.
Yeah. She regains all of them, and also they establish in the first movie it's because she was like a victim of knockout gas from the Hive security system. That's what they say, and that's the same reason why the other guy is knocked out. Whatever.
10 out of 10. No notes.
But Alice rides off into the sunset, and we will never have to see her ever again.
She goes to Manhattan, but looks the same as how she just did at the end of the movie. And I'm like, did she just get up and drive there immediately?
I know. And does she get a prosthetic hand or something like that? Because she did lose 3 fingers.
Oh yeah, she did lose her fingers.
I don't know. You know what's great? We don't ever need to know the answer.
She just goes, peace out, Claire, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I love how the paragraph before this is like, Isaac's, Alice, and Claire fight. And it's like, Claire didn't do shit. Claire, she's in the background for all of this.
She knew she was outclassed. She's like, you go on, you go after him. She's like, holy fuck, I'm not going back there.
Yeah.
She's just letting out a big exhale as soon as Alice leaves. Like, I'm not going to be able to do any of that shit. It's so funny that Claire is like the only returning character in this movie too. Because like Thomas said earlier, I do think she's one of the weaker game characters, not in the games, but like represented in the movies.
Yeah.
So,
I actually think Chris was the best one.
Yeah, I do too. I think Wentworth Miller in 4 as Chris does a good job. And yeah, he's just gone. I don't know if he was busy with Legends of Tomorrow or what, but
he's like, I don't want to be in that shitty movie.
But that's it. We're never going to have to see Alice again. These movies are over.
Well,
this string of movies are over. So we have a few questions we always like to ask ourselves from last season.
Did it work as an adaptation of Resident Evil?
No.
Yes. Oh, no.
Yes?
Yeah,
you
no.
think yes?
No. I'm just
Oh, okay. Because sometimes I do think that's the case. Like, I think Apocalypse is a pretty decent adaptation of like 2 and 3 with Nemesis and all that. But like, ever since they went full Mad Max, it's been very hard to argue that it's a good adaptation. I think the first 2 movies are an okay adaptation of at least the vibes.
This one goes back to the Hive, but even then it feels completely different. Besides the laser hallway, like, because I think we said that, like the labs feel like it's Resident Evil, but in this one, none of like the lab in the Hive felt like it was Resident Evil. Did it work as a sequel to Retribution?
Fuck no.
God no.
No, the villain's not in Retribution. All the side characters from Retribution are dead at the beginning of the movie. And the whole cliffhanger from Retribution is just hand waved away. We don't see any of it. And what we are told about Wesker and Alice completely contradicts it. So no, this is a fucking terrible sequel to Retribution.
I think you could maybe watch 4 and then skip Retribution and then watch this one and you'd be fine.
Yeah, you probably would even miss a beat. Honestly, that's kind of like what I did though, for sure. I was like, okay, cool. I skipped over 5, so I'm gonna go back and watch 5 and see what's up.
The way I described 5 in the recording we did last week is basically like, what if they turned Mercenaries mode into a movie?
Oh yeah.
And did it work as an ending to the entire franchise?
I guess. I mean, yeah, like Thomas said, they go back to the hive. Alice does cure the T virus, which I do also quickly have a problem with that because they establish in Retribution that the Las Plagas parasite exists.
I forgot.
Those are two separate things. So the Las Plagas zombies are still out there.
Yeah, because like, wasn't there like one like Las Plagas zombie like in Washington D.C. or whatever?
Yeah, the first zombie she fights, the one that like jumps on top of her, she's like wrestling with it. It's got the Las Plagas tongue thing. So
no, the tongue thing is the Magini.
Okay, sorry.
But I think that is a spin-off of Las Plagas. I think it's like a mix of that and maybe the T virus. I don't know.
Still, it's just funny that 5 introduces the Las Plagas properly. 4 introduces the Magini, and it's like, we did it. We beat the T virus, and that's it. We don't have to worry about anything else. That was all we had to worry about.
It worked for me because I completely forgot the Las Plagas was in the last movie. So
I don't know. Is it really? Because it's like, to be like a grand finale to the whole franchise, you have to have some kind of reverence for the franchise. And it's just like, I was talking about it with Thomas last night. I texted him and I'm like, is this the worst blockbuster series ever? Like worse than Fast and Furious or Transformers? I think it is.
You know what? Yeah, I think it probably is. I think you're right. You know, I would actually put the XXX series, but I'm thinking there's only like 3 of them.
Yeah, because that's what I'm thinking. Is like, I'm thinking like long running, like wide release, makes a lot of money. Because I know XXX 3 came out this year. I mean, like, you know, the same year as Final Chapter, but the first 2 were like 10 years before that. Because I thought that third one was like a legacy sequel. So it's like, I don't know. There's just shit across the board.
But XXX filmed at the church, so you can't say you don't like that one.
Exactly. You know, even though I have fun with these movies, I think maybe the Underworld movies are... No, never mind. No, like, now I think about the Underworld movies are way better than this franchise.
And if anybody disagrees, please leave a comment. If there's some franchise out there that we're not thinking of right now that's worse, but I don't know, one of the worst ones I can think of is like Transformers, and it's just like, even that, it has like a higher bar than this.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Let's move on to the aftermath of release. Our critical and audience response section here. On Rotten Tomatoes, the critical score is 38% with an audience score of 47%. Final Chapter has the second highest Rotten Tomatoes critic score out of any of these movies.
How?
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I misread it. I put Degeneration in there too. This is the highest rated one in the Paul W.S. Anderson series critically. The first movie's got a 36, Apocalypse has an 18, Extinction is 24, Afterlife 21, Retribution 28. So the critics like this one more than any other.
Sure, whatever. Why not?
But it does have the lowest audience score at 47%. First one was 67, second one was 60, third one was 58. I like how they're just going down. The fourth one was 48, which is only 1 point higher than this one. And then Retribution was 51. So yeah, critics loved this one the most. Audiences hated this one the most. And if you go to Metacritic, it's the same deal. Metacritic score of 49, which is the highest of any of these for critics. And user score of 5.1, which is the second lowest. Retribution had 5. So it's kind of the same thing. It's really weird. I don't know why the critics seem to like this one so much and audiences seem to hate it the most. Really bizarre.
I guess they were just happy that it was over.
Yeah. That's I couldn't agree more. That makes total sense. And it's got a cinema score of B, which is the best cinema score one of these has had since Apocalypse. So I don't know. People left the movie satisfied.
It's funny to me though, because like critics, if you were watching this, like if you were like a new critic or something, like we want you to review this movie. It's called Resident Evil: The Final Chapter, and you go in knowing nothing. I don't see how you could give it a good review. Like you wouldn't know anything about it.
Maybe knowing nothing about it makes it better because it's like just assume that the movies before would properly set up these things instead of the fact, which is that like Isaacs is coming out of thin air here, Alicia and all this is like, if you're coming into it, maybe you're giving the movie the benefit of the doubt and you're treating it with, I don't know, like good faith. Whereas if you've seen all the movies, this is all horse shit and it's just fairy dust, and movie to movie, it's all completely different.
Exactly.
We need the thing from Men in Black where you wipe your mind, and then we wipe us watching the first 5 and then watch this one.
I'd love to get one of those things just to forget every shitty movie I've ever seen. But, it's like they say, you need to have the bad to enjoy the good, right?
Yeah, exactly.
In that case, I'd erase all the good and only have the bad. Anything above like a 50 on Rotten Tomatoes, no, it's gone.
The next okay movie you watch is going to hit your brain like the greatest thing ever released.
The next Adam Sandler movie.
All right, let's wrap this up. We got the box office here.
This film had a budget of $40 million, which is shockingly low, I think. It had domestic opening weekend of $13 million and a total domestic gross of $26 million. Wow.
Yeah.
Shockingly low.
Yeah, crazy low. It is the lowest domestic opening they have ever had for one of these movies. And also the second lowest budget behind the first movie. Movies 2 through 5 cost more than this.
Internationally, it grossed $285 million and it had a total box office of $312.2 million, which gave them a net profit of about $270 million.
Okay.
Which, not too shabby.
No, not at all.
When I think about it, about like why like this movie would do so well internationally and stuff like that, it's because when you look at this movie, it does kind of seem that like this movie wasn't really geared towards like American sensibilities. It was geared towards more like international sensibilities in a way. So I know that one of the like survivors in this movie, because I did like a little bit of research, but like there was an Asian girl like survivor, and she's like a really, really big like fashion model and pop star basically in Japan and stuff like that. And she got bit basically in the neck.
Oh, that makes sense why they kept showing her so much. I'm like, I don't even know who this is.
Yeah, exactly. The movie has like a very much of an international type of feel to it. It reminds me of this Jackie Chan and Johnny Knoxville action movie that came out like during the late 2010s and stuff like that. Just like one of those action movies that like you would see on a plane catalog going off to a different country.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. I don't really know how to phrase it either, but it's like it does seem like it appeals more to international action movie sensibilities, like Chinese action movies or Japanese action movies.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of money coming from those countries because, like I said, this is the lowest domestic the franchise has ever pulled. It is crazy. Like Americans are not seeing these things anymore. And it used to be, the opposite. And it's just, again, it speaks to a couple facts. Like this is a different world. Like 2016, 2017, China is king. Like when it comes to the box office, every studio in Hollywood is trying to appeal to the international viewer because, they changed in the mid 2010s their policy towards American films, and they're allowing more American movies in. So, and the Chinese middle class is going through this huge boom. So it's like, it makes total sense why they would try to appeal to the kind of stuff that Chinese or Japanese viewers would want to see in an action movie versus US viewers. And, you combine that with the fact that this is like completely out of fashion with like regular Hollywood action movies. Cause 2016, 2017 were, like a post John Wick world. And when you look at the action in these movies, it's still trying to be The Matrix.
Oh, yeah. I was getting more vibes of like the Bourne franchise.
It's like it's trapped in amber. Like these are not action movies that are doing contemporary action movie things. And combine that with the pivot to appeal to, and maybe not even an intentional pivot, but it just happens to appeal more to international viewers. I don't know. It's just very interesting. Plus, we talked about it with Jesse. This is a mid-budget action movie. Like this movie cost $40 million and it made over 300. These kinds of movies do not exist in Hollywood anymore. Like it's either all or nothing. You're making a shoestring budget movie, maybe like 5 million, and then you're hoping to hit it big, or you're doing like an Avengers thing and you're dumping hundreds of millions of dollars into the budget. But this mid-budget action, I mean, the most expensive one in the series was Retribution at 65, cheapest at 33, even adjusted for inflation. This is just not the kind of action movie that gets made anymore. This would just go straight to streaming if it's made at all.
Yeah, 100%. I will say that like it is kind of impressive basically of what they were able to pull up with 40 million and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because like that freaking like the tower siege scene was like, I will say it was pretty darn impressive for that amount of money.
Yeah, I don't think these movies are complete dog shit. Like, I do think the production value is often surprisingly high. Like, the effects can look pretty good. They have lots of extras, elaborate sets, some good cinematography and lighting sometimes, depending on whether or not they're on a real set for that particular scene. But like, yeah, like they do get a lot out of the budget here. And I respect them for not letting the budget creep, because these movies make a lot of money, and especially 4 through 6. And the budgets here are consistent from when they started 12 years ago. It's just really interesting.
I could totally see them, like, if this was made now, if these movies were made any later and they made this one, it would have like a $100 million budget.
No, definitely. It's an example of a Hollywood franchise that can't exist in today's world.
Like it does kind of seem like the only one that's like kind of like keeping that torch alive has to be the freaking all those Jason Statham movies, basically.
The Beekeeper. Like, I think we talk about The Beekeeper, Thomas?
The David Ayer movie, friend of the show, David Ayer.
Yeah.
David Ayer and Jason Statham are keeping that like that mid-tier action budget alive to this very day.
Yeah, John Wick 4 cost $100 million, so that's out. I think we looked at The Fall Guy last time, and that was super expensive.
I mean, like that cost like $120 million.
Yep, 125 to 150. Jesus Christ. You can make like 5 Resident Evil Final Chapters with that price. Let's see, The Beekeeper. Yep, 40 million. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yep, like Working Man, 40 million. Wrath of Man, 40 million. But that was a Guy Ritchie movie, but yeah.
They're saving cinema.
What about like one of the John Wick knockoffs? Yeah, Nobody was 16 million and it pulled in 57. So that's not bad. Like, yeah. So these movies can still exist, but not with the kind of spectacle that these have. I don't know if we've just forgotten how to do it or things have just become more expensive as technology's progressed. But like action movies that cost this much don't have this kind of spectacle anymore. Like they're all kind of doing the John Wick thing where it's all very grounded and it's just martial arts and guns, but there's no big set pieces and stuff or monsters. And so we've sadly reached the end of the Paul W.S. Anderson Resident Evil films. We laughed, we cried, we had an awful time, but the series isn't over yet, as next week we'll be discussing another one of the animated Resident Evil films, Resident Evil Vendetta. Ken, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Is there anything you'd like to promote?
I would just say follow me on Instagram at KenGen16, KenGen16, as well as my TikTok at Kenny Atomic. And if you're looking for any video work or coverage, basically find me on KinoKen.net.
Do you want to plug at that Tubi movie?
I'll give them. You know what? Here goes some. You know what movie I will plug? Go and support Jesse McAnally's Daughters of Domino if you can, and stuff like that. As well as my good friend Dark's Exorcist movie, Dominus. Both great local filmmakers and stuff like that within the Michigan area that need love in their movies. So, thank you guys for having me so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.